Hello everyone, back to today's first video, having a look at the ECMWF 42-day extended model for today's first video. So it's going to take us 6 weeks out. It takes us into the middle part of March. We'll look at mean sea level pressure anomalies, 500 millibar height anomalies, temperature and precipitation anomalies for the next 6 weeks. I shall get on with that for you very shortly. Just say that coming up later on today, as always on a Saturday, we're going to have weekend forecast. So yes, the weather for the weekend will be coming up for you later on today. And we're going to have a 10 to 14 day update as well. We'll probably update Snowwatch tonight, I don't know, but we're going to have a channel members live stream at 5 o'clock. So if you're a channel member, you're around YouTube, check into your channel members live stream at 5 o'clock. I mean, after that, I might do stuff. It just depends what time I've got in the evening. But it's another busy day to GavsWeatherVids today. I hope you're enjoying all of it. Definitely smash the like button on the video. Thank you so much for doing that. Right, starting us off then on this Saturday is the ECMWF 42-day forecast. So here we go then. Mean sea level pressure anomalies for week 1. Focusing on Ireland and the UK. For this update, by the way. The wider European 6-week forecast we do on a Tuesday as part of our Wednesday live stream, of course. Right, okay, so this is week 1 mean sea level pressure anomaly taking us from the 8th through to the 15th of February. Northern blocking goes on this week or next week with high pressure from Scandinavia over to Greenland, Iceland. Low pressure is underneath it, along the jet stream tracking southwards as well. We're pulling in an easterly wind. It looks like it's a cold week to come for Ireland and the UK as well. The 500 millibar height anomaly shows us up nicely. Again, high pressure blocking around Greenland, extending back into the Arctic. Low pressure across northern and western Europe. Jet stream push southwards as well. And we should be pulling in quite cold winds for the east and from the northeast. Temperature anomalies are cold of an average in northern Europe, extremely cold across sort of northeast Europe and western Russia, going down to like under 10 degrees below average. Wow, incredible. For the UK and for Ireland, it's not as bad as that, but even so, we're around sort of 3, 4, 5 degrees below average for UK and Ireland. So it is a cold week we've got coming up across Northern Europe, and UK and Ireland is including that. Precipitation anomalies for Ireland and the UK drive an average out to the north and the northwest, where we're closest to the blocking, wettest in the east and in the south. And of course, with those easy winds, it does raise the prospect of snow showers down these eastern coastal areas. Right, that's week 1 done. Let's go through to week 2. This will take us from the 15th to the 22nd of February. High pressure is over Scandinavia, extending down through central parts of Europe. Lower pressure developing in the Atlantic Ocean. Possibly starting to go a little bit milder or less cold at the western side of Europe with this. We might be starting to bring up the air from the south, potentially. Let's have a look at the 500 millibar height anomaly for week 2. So again, we have above average heights, higher pressure across many sort of central and northern parts of Europe. Low pressures in the Atlantic. And yeah, it looks like we should be starting to draw up some slightly milder southerly winds, I think, through the western part of Europe in this week. Temperature anomaly is therefore, again, milder than average through much of France, Spain, Portugal. It's still colder than average across much of northern Europe. We're sort of in between, really. So we're close to those cold and average conditions, but we're also close to the milder average conditions. It might be transitional. It might start off cold and then maybe start to go a little bit milder from the 15th to 22nd of February. Something like that could be going on. But I think that might be a milder week, really, for week 2. Week 2 precipitation anomaly looks like that. Very little in the way of a signal, actually. It's dry of an average still to our north. Otherwise, not much to be seen. Could be starting to turn a bit more unsettled there and a bit milder. Right, week 3, 22nd of February to the 1st of March. High pressure then re-strengthening over and to the north of the country. Looks like it's probably bringing the wind back into the east again. So I imagine this is beginning to go a little bit colder for the end of February. Let's have a look at 500 millibar height anomaly. So quite a big ridge of high pressure there, or above average heights, really sitting across much of the North Atlantic and into Northern Europe as well. could be starting to draw wind back in from the east on the southern flank of that high pressure. Week 3, temperature anomalies hint at going a bit colder again. It's not as cold actually for Scandinavia, interestingly. There's perhaps a bit more of a westerly influence there, but for like Western Europe anyway, into UK, it does hint at being a little bit on the cold. So I think that could be turning colder again. Last week of February, precipitation-wise, very dry under that area of high pressure. So we end what's been quite a wet winter actually on a dry note, but rather cold. That takes through to week 4, which is going to be the 1st through to the 8th of March. High pressure. This is retrogression that we're seeing here, isn't it? From weeks 2 to 3 to 4, we've definitely got retrogression going on, because that high pressure in week 2 is kind of like there. In week 3, the high pressure is kind of like there, and in week 4, 1st to the 8th of March, the high pressure is kind of there, just south of Greenland. So the upshot is, with retrogression, we'll probably bring wind back into the north again. Probably got northerlies for the 1st week of March. That would be quite cold, I think, a cold start to March, potentially. Let's have a look at the 500 millibar height anomaly. Definitely signs that northerlies are coming back here. Above average heights in North Atlantic. Below average heights, lower pressure across Spain, by the way, so it could be quite wet down there. Just looks quite cold to me, that return of northerly winds as we go into the beginning of meteorological spring. Temperature anomalies are colder than average. Not desperately cold, but it definitely looks like it's colder than average start to March for UK, for many parts of northern Europe as well. The precipitation anomaly for week 4, 1st to the 8th of March. Again, hints of being drier than average, especially so out to our north and northwest, close that blocking area of high pressure. Further out we go, the weakest signal's going to get. This is week 5, 8 to the 15th of March. No signal there. No signal whatsoever. Let's have a look at the 500 millibar height anomaly. Again, very weak signals once more. Nothing really to work with there for the week 5, 8 to 15th of March period. Temperature anomaly is very weak for week 5, but perhaps still hinting, if anything, being a bit on the cold side. Look at the milder than average anomalies there in the east and southeast Europe, still, as they have been through most of this winter, colder than average anomalies out towards the northwest. It just hints, doesn't it, that like early March could be a bit on the cold side, really, although it is a weak signal. And then the precipitation anomaly for week 5, again, no particular signal. Lastly, week 6 will take us from the 16th to 22nd of March. High pressure then. It's a weak signal, but high pressure looks like it's in across Western Europe. Now, this could be spring. That could be after a cold to the first half of March. That might be the beginning of spring from the 15th, 22nd of March. Because with that high pressure over and slightly to the east of the UK, I think we'll start to pull up some much milder, maybe even quite warm-ish sort of southerly, southwesterly winds. So that could be where spring 2021 begins to kick in. The 500 millibar height anomaly does, again, the high pressure is sent over top of the country. If it went any further north, we will probably go back though to those easterlies again. The temperature, I think this will lift up. Let's have a look. No, not really. So actually, my idea that might be spring-like. Not really. It's just a very weak signal. Actually, I still think that could be a little bit of spring in the 6th week. And the precipitation on me just hints at being a little bit drier than average, really. It's all a very, very long way off anyway. So, the upshot is, we're going to be cold, of course, very, very cold across much of northern Western Europe in weekend. This is the coldest part of winter. If this update is right, it won't be as cold as this again this winter. So the coming days are going to be the coldest that winter of 2021 has to offer for northern Europe. Bitter cold. Then we see a slight improvement in the temperature. It gets a little bit milder in week 2. Then gradually it looks like we go back to colder weather late February into early March. Probably not as cold as it will be in the next days, but cold weather comes back at the end of February lasting into early part of March. The middle and second half of March is very, very sketchy. We may see a little bit of spring getting going then, but it's weeks 5, 6, it's a long way off, and the signals are really, really weak. That's how it's looking this week. It's all just a snapshot. Any forecast beyond 5-7 days is fraught with danger and fraught with how one needs big pinches of salt and whatnot. So that's just how it's looking today. Very cold start, a little bit less cold for week 2. Cold comes back for the end of February and into March. Probably not as severe as it will be in the next few days. And then mid to second half of February might start to get a little bit milder. We'll do it all over again next Saturday, so we shall see you for that one, I'm sure, next week. But don't forget, Weekend Forecast is coming up at 10 to 14 days. Your channel member, great channel members live stream at 5 o'clock this afternoon. There may be snow watch for you tonight. For this video, that's all for now, though, and thanks for watching.